drag queen or perhaps you're gay. Is there a point to all these fancy clothes? With all these buckles from your head down to your toes. It's very simple, but I'm just another girl. It's not so easy, but I'm giving it a whirl. Is there something that you're trying to prove? With all the makeup and the way you move, are you looking for some sympathy? No, I'm trying to be the best girl I can be. Very simple, but I'm just another girl. It's not so easy, but I'm giving it a whirl. Like my martinis dry, cosmos I won't deny. Smoke those long cigarettes. Thank God I'm not dead yet. Done all these crazy things, short of a wedding ring. Just a
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Callista Solon, and this is nlcTrans. With me tonight, my usual co-hosts, Tara and Stacy. And we have two very special guests tonight, people that I'm sure you all know already, but if you don't, we're going to introduce them for you. We have the hosts of the show that follows us immediately, Street Talk. We have Father Russ Carmichael and Tambria Moore. Thank you for joining us. And tonight we're going to question Father Russ a bunch. He's very nervous about this, but this is a call-in show. So if you want to call in and ask these guys questions, you can do that. And they can't reach the button. Well, that's it. They can't hang up. So feel free to call in. But anyway, Father thinks that Tambria is here, of course, to help him and protect him. But in fact, she's here to help us grill him.
I told you it was an intervention.
Anyway, so
this is just like at home.
it is.
I need 4 more girls.
Surrounded by girls.
We're just missing your daughter.
That's right.
Yeah,
Several of them.
and we will get your daughters on here sooner or
Oh,
later.
goodness. Sooner or later.
But anyway, we wanted to basically talk to you guys. This is kind of a turnabout for you. Usually you guys are asking the questions, and tonight we're going to. So anyway, there was a bunch of stuff we wanted to talk about. And one of the things, before we get started, I downloaded that information you sent me, Tambria. Tambria always sends me information and stuff pertinent to our show. And I actually downloaded all of that. And of course, it's sitting on my desk at work. But there was an interesting poll that Quinnipiac, I want to say Quinnipiac College, it's Quinnipiac University now, had done a poll about our recent Supreme Court decision in Connecticut and the defeat of the proposition for the Constitutional Convention. Anyway, the poll basically showed that overwhelmingly the people of Connecticut were in favor of same-sex marriage, and the Supreme Court's decision and the defeat of our proposed Constitutional Convention. So, but it was, anyways, as always, I downloaded it and left it on my desk. But anyway, Tambria, thank you for all that wonderful stuff you sent me. Father, we wanted to get you to talk a bit about who you are and what you do. And one of the things that we were talking about before the show was basically we were hoping to get you to talk some about your ministry and how it all works, because it's kind of a model for what we're doing, and we've been kind of taking instruction from you on this.
Well, obviously it is nice to be on here because it's your support group turned into the TV show, and we helped institutionalize that. And
Yes, you
your
did.
program's like a little baby to us, and I am seriously proud of what you ladies have done and what you're doing, and it's really wonderful. I am not usually nervous on anybody's show because I've been interviewed for 40 years and in the paper on both sides. But for some reason, this is, I'm nervous. That's not usually the case.
Well, if it helps, Callie doesn't have her tape recorder running.
That's right, right. And Callie's
I
been
don't.
working on a book with me for now.
Well, you think I don't have it running.
Well, we're 10 minutes anyway, right? We have the DVD, right? So yeah, that's right. Usually you're following me around with a tape, and then we have Jerry following me around with a camera. So the last 3 or 4 years have been something that I usually where I am. I'm not, I'm not usually uncomfortable with questions being asked, but. The ministry started here. Most of my own listeners know my background. That many years ago, when I was a young kid, I was a rebellious kid, and I got on the wrong side of the law, and I went to prison. I was a organized crime kind of figure from the Boston area, out of Newton, Mass, and I got misguided, and I ended up doing about 4 years in Walpole, Mass. I did in the Walpole prison. So that's where the wrong side of my life got involved there, and then I got involved in the prison movement at the time, because a lot of people I felt were less fortunate than I was. I was not religious at the time. I was extremely atheistic. I thought that anybody who believed in God were foolish, like mythology. My background is such that the Catholic Church, I had been abused, not by priests, but by nuns when I started out in school. I went to a French school in Newton, and I got beat pretty much all the time, and then I had a nun break my wrist, and nasty things happened. So the only thing the Catholic Church did for me was get me angry at God. So by the time I was a teenager, and I got married young, most of you know. That's why I have so many, I have a lot of children. I was 15, 16 when I started out on my road to trying to put family together and get out of my situation. So I did I made a lot of mistakes, and was not gifted enough to have the skills that I needed to raise a family, and I found that being a criminal was lucrative for me. I had used stealing as a way to get revenge, so it just progressed into greater things. I was a kind of a natural organizer. I had the gift of organizing, and I was entrepreneurish. So it didn't take much for me to have major gang at a very young age, and so by the late 60s, I was on my way to trying to take over Boston, and another group was trying to kill everybody in Boston. And I got lucky, actually I got lucky. I went to jail, so I missed a lot of the gang wars that I lost a lot of friends in and stuff like that. And then while I was in Walpole and then Norfolk, I got, there were a lot of people in the prison that never had the opportunities I had had and that I threw away, so I ended up being involved in trying to change the prison. First because of my own needs. I didn't like the way it was, so I wanted to fix everything around me to the way I liked it. And of course, I became a leader in the prison. I had a big gang when I went in, and it was easy to make that gang bigger. And so I got involved in the justice system. Along the way, though, because I had children very young, I didn't like who I was, because once I got in there, well, I could have, to make a long story short, I could have not went to prison. All I had to do was get rid of the guy who was turning state's evidence on me. And in the business I chose, that would have been the thing to do. However, I didn't get rid of that person, and I figured I could do the 4 or 5 years. But by the time I went to Walpole, I found out that, it doesn't end there. When you go through prison, you either